After Jesus was fasting and he was being tempted by the devil to do bad things, then he obeyed God and not the devil. After that, he came down out of the wilderness and he started to eat food again. And after he was fasting, he was filled with God's power and he started to do lots of miracles. And also, what he did was he started to find disciples to follow him. A disciple is someone that followed Jesus everywhere he went and listened to Jesus' teaching. Here's a picture of some disciples with their horses right here. Now, what happened was Jesus was walking through the forest and walking through the hills. He walked on this road right here. And after he walked for a little bit, he came to a big lake. And do you know what he saw when he got to that lake? There were some men in a boat, and these men were fishing. See, there's their net right here going down into the water so they can catch fish in the water. And do you know what Jesus said to those men? They were very sad because they did not catch any fish, and they did not have any food if they didn't catch any fish. See how they look kind of sad and their boat is all empty? Well, Jesus said, if you put your net on the other side, then you're going to get a lot of fish. And they said, but Jesus, we already tried to fish and we couldn't find any fish. But do you know what they did? They obeyed Jesus, and look what's happening in this picture. You see all the fish are filling up the boat, and if you look here, you can see that the boat is kind of floating on top of the water because it's all empty. But if you look over here, what's happening to the boat here? It's sinking down under the water because so many fish came up, and these men over here are like, oh my goodness, we're pulling so much fish are coming in, we don't even have room. And here's a man, his hair is really blowing like crazy, and he's going, oh my goodness, look at all these fish, I can't believe it. And here's Peter, he's saying, oh, he's kneeling down to pray to Jesus, saying, Jesus, you must be the one and only God, because you made so many fish go into our boat. Here's the boat floating on top. Here's the boat sinking down under. Here's another picture where they're reaching down. Oh, Jesus, I can't get it out. They're reaching down, and he's praying, and he's going crazy, and the boat's sinking because so many fish are coming. If you look over here, here you can see where they are really trying to put all these fish in all these horses so they can carry the fish to another place. See, here's all the fish down here. Well, after all those fish came out, do you know what Jesus did? He reached up his hand and he said to Peter and John, who were fishermen, Peter and John, come follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Jesus was saying, come follow me, learn all my teachings. And what did Peter and John say? Oh, yes, Lord, we will follow you. Whatever you say, you must be God. And Jesus said, yes, come follow me. I have great plans for you. And then we see here, what are Peter and John doing right here? Are they staying in their boat? No, they're obeying Jesus, and they're coming to follow him and leaving their boat and their nets and coming to follow Jesus and to walk with Jesus forever. So they went from the boat, they climbed out of the boat, and they followed him. Jesus called them, and here you can see their boats are way back here. They left their boats over there, and no one is left, and everyone is going to come and follow Jesus, and they're going to walk through the countryside all together, listening to Jesus' teachings and following him. Now, do you obey Jesus if he asks you to do something? Jesus wants you to follow him too and follow his teachings. Even if you have a lot of things that you're doing, that's why we tell you you should always have a time of quietness before Jesus where you're listening to his voice and where you are reading his Bible and learning all about his teachings. If you look at this picture here, you can see that these men over here, they're not really listening to Jesus. They're talking, they're not really listening, they're looking at each other. But these men over here, they are really listening to Jesus. And there's even some women there too, and they're Jesus' disciples too. See back here? They're really listening to him teach. These two are even kneeling down to pray and listen to his teachings. So we don't want to be like these ones over here. We want to be like these ones over here that are looking at Jesus and listening to him and following him. And I believe that Jesus wants you to follow him too and to be his disciple. We are all his disciples if we will follow what he says, walk away from the things, and obey his voice. And like these men did, we want to kneel down. See how he's holding his chest and he's saying, "Oh Jesus, I love you. I want to follow you forever." And what do you think Jesus thinks about that? He loves it when we follow him. He loves to speak to us, and he loves for us to be his disciple.